New Mexico Real Estate Basics, page 62. 62 Unit 5 Other Matters Affecting Real Estate Transactions. Punitive damages. 700 Civil suit where there exists a pattern or practice of discrimination. A civil suit may be filed in federal court without first filing a complaint with HUD. In addition, an action may be taken by the Attorney General of the United States. He may file a MOHOI to New Mexico Human Rights Act. The New Mexico Human Rights Act is a state law enacted by the state legislature and enforced by a state agency called the Human Rights Commission, consisting of 11 members appointed by the governor. A paid France HUD leg. The act prohibits discrimination based on race, religion, color, national origin, ancestry, sex, physical or mental handicap, sexual orientation, gender identity, and spousal affiliation in the sale, leasing, showing, advertising, or financing of real estate, including commercial and industrial properties. The law also applies to employers of 4 or more employees. Exceptions to the act include the following: District COMT2GE. An owner of a single-family dwelling who does not discriminate in advertising, does not own or have reserved any interest in more than 3 single-family dwellings, and does not live in the dwelling or was not the most recent occupant, qualifies for an exemption for one sale in 24 months. A church or church-sponsored corporation that provides housing may discriminate in favor of members of the sponsoring denomination. Accommodations in public institutions where the preference or limitation is based on sex are exempted. Hearings are conducted by a panel of 3 commissioners. The commission may require actual damages not to exceed $1,000 to be paid, or imprisonment of not more than 1 year. APA complaints may be filed with the commission or with the district court. Complaints must be filed with the commission within 300 days after the alleged act was committed. An aggrieved person may appeal a decision of the commission to the decision. Futh or Conservator by Coast Documentarict. Court within 90 days of the stigmatized property. J. Consistent Donut. A stigmatized, psychologically impacted property is property marked with a history of abnormality or a nil event. For example, the real property might be a home where a homicide occurred. The New Mexico legislature passed the Real Estate Disclosure Act in May 1991. This act provides states the following: best out if a seller, lessor, or landlord of real property, including a participant in an exchange of real property and an agent involved in such a transaction, will not be liable for failure to disclose and will not have a duty to disclose to any person who acquires by voluntary or involuntary transfer a legal or equitable interest in the real property, including any leasehold interest or security interest for an obligation, the fact or suspicion that the real property is or has been the site of a natural death, the site of a homicide, suicide, assault, sexual assault, or any other crime punishable as a felony, or owned or occupied by a person who was exposed, infected with, or suspected to be infected with the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, or diagnosed as to be suffering HPW Guido Hay Kalani Convect and Reasonable AC Comod AT.